Yo, check me out right here. Yo, check me out right here. Welcome to the Underground Sound Xtrta, the little baby brother to the podcast for your mom's ass. My name is The Sheep, and today, a sad day. Today we heard in the news here that Chester Fuckerfield here from Chester Bennington from fucking Lincoln Park offed himself today. He hung himself, and it's all over social media. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's weighing in. Everybody's either posting the R.I.P. He was a great artist. You know, he'll be missed. He left so much behind, or had so many better days ahead of him. Then there's the, hey, if you plan on killing yourself, call the suicide hotline. I'll talk about that in a minute. Then there's the people who are like, hey, fuck that guy, he's a coward, he killed himself, he's got kids, he's a pussy. Then there's people like me who got a little bit of a different perspective on this. And so I'm going to state my opinion on this, and I'm going to analyze this the best way that I can, which is only how I think and feel about that sort of thing. And it's only my opinion. So I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm not asking you to think anything other than to just listen to another point of view. First of all, suicide is sad as fuck, right? Anytime somebody kills themselves, there's tragedy there. We don't. Why did this person feel that they needed to end their lives? That they couldn't be here anymore? What's it take to push somebody to the point that you don't want to live anymore? I mean, lots of things can do that, right? Your girlfriend dumps you. I also want to piggyback. This is a good topic of conversation because it wasn't too long ago that other rock star fuckface did it from. I forgot the name of the band already. Doesn't matter. Soundgarden, not Savage Garden. What the fuck? That emo fuck's gonna kill himself too. Mark my words. No, the dude from Soundgarden killed himself. But then there was that big controversy over the Netflix show. The fucking my brain isn't working right now. 13 Reasons Why. So we got this girl named Hannah who I'm gonna be a little bit all over the place, but I'm getting somewhere. Just roll with me for a little bit here. If you've seen it, it's based on a book. A girl named Hannah is a high school girl who kills herself. And she records fucking cassette tapes, because when you're in high school in 2015-16, cassette tapes are retro as fuck, like records were when I was a kid. Or 8 tracks. 8 tracks weren't even that far removed. Okay, I'm getting way off topic here. She records 13 fucking cassettes, and they all tell a story about a certain person in high school that caused her to had a role in her killing herself. And there was a big uproar about it. You know, everybody gets offended by everything nowadays. Everybody got offended by this show. To Netflix's credit, they stood by it and they kept it on. They don't give a shit, you know what I mean? But everybody was in an uproar because they felt like it glorified suicide. At the end of the show, they actually at the end of the series, spoiler alert, they show her kill herself in the bathtub, and it's really fucking graphic. It's disturbing. It's well done too. The whole show, it's just good shit. But at the same time, you know, you got a high school girl who was just essentially kind of picked on and was on the outcast or whatever, on the school whore. that shit happens, right? And she killed herself. So, big uproar over that. We got Chester Copplepot here, who killed himself today. You got Winky Slapnuts here, that killed himself from Soundgarden. And it's just a big mess. So what drives a Bennington or a fucking, still don't remember that guy's name, or Hannah from 13 Reasons Why, or my ex-wife Hannah, who probably should have killed herself. Just kidding. I love you. Why would you do that, right? So, I think when she, in her case, and in those types of cases, you're being picked on. When you're in high school, you're emo as fuck. And I guess now is the best time to talk about that. I told you I'm going to be all over the place, but it will come to a nice, concise point, I promise you. When you're in high school, your emotions are going fucking ape shit. And not only that, but your high school is a popularity contest. It's got bullies, and it's got jocks, it's got nerds, it's got geeks, it's got the hot girl, it's got falling in love for the first time, it's got sex for the first time, it's got drugs for the first time, and alcohol for the first time, and class you gotta go to, and fucking you're growing pubic hair, and you're growing beards, and your voice is deeper, and you're want to fuck the teacher, and you smoking cigarettes and fucking auto shop and all of that all at once, and you don't know how to deal with it because you're just coming into that. I mean, adults pretend, it's funny when you look back and how you looked at adults when you were a kid. Adults don't got their shit together either. They're just grown up. Imagine how hard, try to remember how hard it was in high school. In high school, I was picked on like a motherfucker. Even more when I was younger. By high school, I started to catch my cool a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, I get it. I was not the cool kid in school by any stretch. I just found my clique that accepted me, and I didn't give a fuck about the jocks or the prissy girls or none of that shit. But you gotta wonder. So I guess what I was getting at with that is high school might be an exception because you're not even in control of your emotions yet. You don't know what's going on. The whole school thinks you're a whore because somebody said they banged you, but they didn't. Or you get raped. Well, spoiler alert. She gets a pass because of the rape. But everything else, if it was just being picked on, I mean, it's like you could have lived through that, right? You could have even a rape. You go through a divorce, you get picked on, you lose your job, you get caught gambling, or you got a gambling addiction, or you get caught doing something illegal. It's a short term, it's a long term, it's a permanent fix for a short term issue, right? I mean, why do you gotta kill yourself? Learn from that situation. We're all here to learn and grow as souls, right? Learn from it. You're here, you're going through that, experience that, feel that, and you want to kill yourself, and you want to so fucking bad. And I've been through 2 divorces, and I understand it. Trust me, I do. You lose somebody close to you. What if your mom dies, your dad dies, your brother or sister dies? That shit can fuck you up major. But can you get through that? Can counseling, can medication, can just a friend to fucking hear what you have to say, can they get you through that? Can some medications get you through that? I think yes. I think that shit's proven. I think the body gets fucked up and throws itself off balance and things like that happen. I think, you lose, you go through a divorce, you lose your brother. It always hurts, but you can grow from that. You can be a stronger person because of that. If you can just make it through. And there's things out there that can help you do that. But now I want to flip the script a little bit on this. Because I think there's another type of... And before I move on, people that are running from like a gambling, if you do something scumbaggy, you commit a crime, that's your fault. You got yourself into that situation. You are a coward for taking that way out. You're a pussy. You're a piece of shit. If you're just one of those people that got a cloud over your head that's just raining on you your whole fucking life, right? Your whole life. As far back as you can remember, you were not a happy person. There was not one incident that you just need to learn how to adjust to and move on and learn and grow from. You were born a fucking wretched sack of miserable shit, right? You wear black. You maybe not literally wear black, but you could. Just you're a gloomy bitch, right? You're never happy. You're never excited. You never feel shit. What does that person do? Can medications fix that? Can counseling fix that? I don't believe it can, because I think to fix a problem, there has to be a cause of the problem. There can't be a problem that doesn't have a reason. Maybe there is, and I don't fucking know. I don't know. Shut up. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, counseling doesn't fix these type of people because they're not happy. There's nothing to reconnect. They don't understand. It's not there. It'll never be there. You can mask it, maybe. You know, I'm sure pills, and that's why people self-medicate with drugs and alcohol too. It masks that pain. It gives a false sense of happy. You know, if you're a depressed person and you smoke a few bowls, you're probably going to be in a good mood and eat some Cheetos and play some video games and have an alright night. But when you wake up in the morning again, you're fucking miserable. Ugh, another day. And it just... Nothing excites you. Everything sucks. You have no will to live. What do you do when you don't have a will to live? And where's that line? I think with Chester Bennington, and that's what sparked this conversation here today. You go all the way back and listen to the Linkin Park songs. Linkin Park was the bee's fucking knees back in my day, the early 2000s. They were there in my high school years. And I was a big rap metal fan. I started with, I kind of came into metal and rap at the same time, and I loved them both. His shit was depressing. Go back and Numb and In the End, and not a happy guy. You can hear it in his voice. You can see it in his face. Now, this is 15 fucking years later at least, and he hangs himself. He's rich. He's famous. He's doing what he loves for a living. Most people are just miserable because they gotta go to work in a fucking factory every day. Or a cubicle. And they don't get to live out their dreams. This motherfucker's out there living his dreams. He's got money. He should have money if he wasn't a douchebag about it. Why isn't he happy? Because he was never fucking happy, ever. You can hear it. You can tell. No details have been released yet. By the time I get this up, by the time you listen to it, there may be more to it. Maybe he left a note. Maybe it was high on drugs. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he did owe a gambling debt. But you didn't ask to be born, right? So what if just being here and having to wake up every day and drag yourself out to work to do something that you don't want to do, to make money, just to live, just to keep a roof over your fucking head so you have a place to sleep for the 5 hours of free time you have when you're not at work or running errands, when you could just sleep in your goddamn car out in the parking lot and probably be fine. But you want to have stuff. You gotta have a TV, the dude wasn't happy. And what do you do when you're not happy to be alive and not a thing in the world can change that about you? Mask it? Maybe. But as soon as that drug goes away, you're back right where you were. There's people out there that don't really understand that, and then you look at some of these comments that people are leaving. I don't think people fully understand what it's like to be a fucking lump of glue, a lunk of glue, your whole life. You're just fucking drifting through the air like a fat, sloppy sack of shit, like Slimer with his big fucking sloppy belly and his gangly arms dangling. His fucking big old gap teeth and fat ugly nose and his stupid eyes. Fucking stupid voice. Fucking stupid eating everybody's food all the time. When you're walking around like that your whole life, what is your option? And that's your option. You can opt out. Why do you gotta be here? You didn't ask to be here. Now, find your peace in the afterlife. There'll be peace in the afterlife. They're not going to hell. It's stupid. But they're gonna learn. It's a deep learning experience. That's like if you're working in an office setting, they would call it a coaching from God. Come here, pal. Kind of a fuck up down there, weren't you? What are we gonna do to fix that this time around? You have another go at it. You learn. Maybe you gotta. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it kind of comes down to now. The argument to that, and I do want to play is, give the other perspective of that, is this guy had kids. I didn't look up to see what the age of his kids were, so if they're fully grown, I don't think that's much of an argument. But if they're still young or adolescent or teens, then yeah, he's kind of took a pussy way out when you got other obligations here. Once you have kids, you have obligations, so that's a huge part of this. You do not come first. Your kids do. Even if you want to fucking die and off yourself, you do it after they're fully grown. You fulfill your obligation to raise them to be as healthy, productive, happy fucking members of society. Then you can off yourself. That's fine. Like I always reference Hunter S. Thompson. He's the guy who inspired me to go to school for journalism and be interested in writing and all that shit, which I do very, very fucking well. He offed himself. And, his kid was a full-grown man. He had a great career. He'd done everything he wanted to do. He lived life to its fullest every second in ways that I never could, ever. So I don't have the balls to. And his health started failing. So your health's failing, your family is fully grown, you're getting old, you're starting to wind down, it's not fun anymore. You're fine off yourself. You're not happy with life anymore. You lived one hell of a life. Even if you're young, if you don't have kids, you can, I feel strongly about that. Really, the reset button is an extreme last resort, but sometimes that reset button is peace, and I find beauty in that. And that's where a lot of you are going to think I'm fucking wrong here, but there's beauty in the release, the final, like the rehab song. She was laying in an overflowing bathtub of red water, the first and the last time she ever relaxed. They said she had a smile on her face. Something else, something. Think about that song, those words, man. That's how I feel about it. First and the last time she ever relaxed. She had a smile on her face. There's beauty in that. And I think, barring Chester Cobble Titternuts children, I think he should not be criticized. I think he's been a miserable person his whole career. You can hear it his whole life, probably. You can hear it in the songs he did 15 fucking years ago. And he finally did it. So, and even for the little kids, a big part of that, like I said, is fulfilling the obligation. Now, like a Kurt Cobain or like Chester did here, both little, I don't know Chester's kids' names, ages, but Kurt certainly had a young kid. But, they weren't around or won't be around to be parents. Being a parent is 90% of it. You gotta raise proper people. But these kids are at least well off, or should be if he didn't piss his money away. Like Kurt Cobain's daughter, for fuck's sake, she'll never have to do shit. She is taken care of. She never had a dad. She didn't have one. But she is provided for nonetheless. So it's an interesting conversation. I'm not trying to be controversial. I think there's a lot of different ways to look at this. I gave my perspective on a lot of it. You're a pussy if you do it to escape a short-term problem, or if you abandon kids in need, but leaving no responsibilities behind and not doing it out of fear or cowardness, doing it out of misery and hopelessness and pain. There's beauty in that release. And that is the Underground Sound Xtrta, the little baby brother to the podcast for your mom's ass. Peace.